A new law in Washington set to go into effect, bringing the trucking and RV industry into a new era. Apple Valley News Now's Dan Hansen has been digging more into this new law, and now the Department of Ecology is shedding light how it will affect not only the state of Washington, but our specific area.
According to the Department of Ecology, starting on January 1st, the Advanced Clean Truck, or ACT, regulations will require between 7 and 11% of new medium and heavy-duty trucks dependent upon weight and class to meet the zero-emission standard. This comes after Washington voted in 2020 to follow emission regulations modeled after California. But not everyone is on board.
With electric vehicles, the cart is before the horse. There is not an electric vehicle in operation today or even available today that will serve the agricultural sector.
In 2020, Senate Bill 5811 was passed by the state legislature. The bill is sponsored by Joe Wynn, who is also the chair of the Senate Environmental Committee. This bill says the state will adopt the Clean Vehicles Program, which includes medium and heavy-duty vehicles.
That is a mandate directly on manufacturers to produce and sell an increasing number of zero-emission vehicles.
Sherry Call is the CEO of the Washington Truckers Association. She says Washington lawmakers decided to follow California's zero-emission vehicle laws. Call says with SB 5811, trucking industries are now facing a new era in those vehicle sales.
The way that's being applied right now, their mandate for 2025, when it goes into effect for Washington, is to sell at least 7% of vehicle sales have to be zero emission.
Andrew Winicky, the Deputy Communications Director for the Washington State Department of Ecology, says this law will not prohibit the sales of gas or diesel-powered vehicles.
If you are a driver, if you own a trucking company, if you are a farmer, you can continue to buy whatever vehicle you want, whatever vehicle meets your needs the best. This only applies to manufacturers. And so it's not, for instance, an RV manufacturer. It's the people that are making the chassis and the engine.
Winicky says those manufacturers have a lot of flexibility in this policy. He says there's already been a lot of sales of these clean vehicles, and there is just a small area of concern because there aren't that many electric trucks on the roads yet.
We've taken some steps to make sure that we are meeting those needs and addressing those concerns. We think 100% of the compliance obligations for the first 2 years of the program are going to be covered by one, a waiver for vehicles that are emitting fewer nitrogen oxides, and then two, the state is really investing in helping companies buy more of these clean vehicles.
The state is putting grants out for clean school buses, garbage trucks, and fire trucks. Shane Vasic has been driving trucks since 2013, and he says he's one of those people who aren't ready for this.
I mean, personally, I don't really see any positives of it. I mean, there has to be for them to be pushing it. The environment is very important.
Senator Joe Wynn says this bill is important to him because he says we're in a climate crisis and the state needs to use every tool they have to provide a sustainable future.
This ZEF standard has shown to be very successful in other jurisdictions which has been implemented. California, I think, is a key reason that we're seeing the acceleration of automakers developing and deploying these new electric vehicles as well. But it authorizes the Department of Ecology to adopt California's zero emissions vehicle program, and just because it came up a few times on the Senate side, the reason why we're adopting California is because we can't preempt the federal government. That's the only thing we can do.
The regulations also target large diesel and gas-powered motorhomes, including Class A and Class C models, to follow Washington's plan to phase out new gasoline vehicles by 2035. Winicky says the state will allow 25 to 60% of trucks, depending on weight class, to use gas or diesel engines.
These standards phase in very slowly. This first year, a big rig, a semi-trailer, semi-tractor, that's going to be 7% of new vehicle sales. Across the entire state, we're talking about, we think about 130 trucks.
Winicky says the sales of these vehicles are tracked at the end of the year. If a manufacturer didn't sell enough qualifying vehicles, they have 2 years to make up the deficit. Dan Hansen, Apple Valley News Now.